Have you ever heard of a story so full of miracles, drama, and destiny that it sounds like it's straight out of a Hollywood movie? Well, today we are diving into the incredible life of Isaac, a man whose birth was a miracle, whose life was a test of faith, and whose family legacy shaped history. Let's travel back in time. Meet Abraham and Sarah. They've lived a long, full life, but their hearts ache with one deep sadness. They have no children. They're well past the age of childbearing, and their dream of a family seems impossible. One day, a divine messenger appears to Abraham with an unbelievable promise. Your wife, Sarah, will have a son. When Sarah overhears this, she can't help but laugh. A baby. At her age. It sounded absurd. But sometimes, the most absurd-sounding promises are the ones God intends to keep. Against all odds, a baby boy is born. They name him Isaac, which means he laughs, a beautiful reminder of his mother's initial disbelief and their ultimate, overwhelming joy. Their home, once quiet with longing, is now filled with the happy cries of a child. It was a true miracle, a sign that with faith, nothing is impossible. But the story takes a dramatic and difficult turn. Years pass, and Isaac grows into a young boy, the light of his parents' lives. Then, God gives Abraham a command that is almost too painful to comprehend. Take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and offer him as a sacrifice. Can you imagine the agony? The son he had waited a lifetime for, the miracle child, was now to be taken away. With a heart heavier than any stone, Abraham obeys. He travels with Isaac to a designated mountain. The journey must have been filled with a deafening silence and unspoken questions. Isaac, innocent and unaware, turns to his father and asks, "Father, we have the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the offering?" Abraham's reply is full of pain and trust. God himself will provide the lamb, my son. They reach the spot. Abraham builds the altar. He ties up his beloved son and lays him upon the wood. He raises the knife, his hand trembling, his faith pushed to its absolute limit. In that heart-stopping moment, just as he is about to bring the knife down, a voice from heaven cries out, "Abraham, Abraham, do not harm the boy." He looks up, and there, caught in a thicket by its horns, is a ram. God had provided the sacrifice. This terrifying test revealed the depth of Abraham's faith, and it became a cornerstone event, showing that true obedience is rewarded, even when we can't see the path ahead. This moment on Mount Moriah would be remembered for generations, a powerful story of faith, obedience, and divine intervention. As Isaac grows into a man, it's time for him to marry. Abraham, now very old, is determined that his son should not marry a woman from the local Canaanite tribes. He calls his most trusted servant and gives him a crucial mission: go back to my homeland, to my relatives, and find a wife for my son Isaac there. The servant swears an oath and sets off on the long journey with 10 camels loaded with gifts. He arrives at a well outside the city of Nahor, just as the women are coming to draw water in the evening. He prays for a sign. He decides he will ask a young woman for a drink, and if she not only gives him water, but also offers to water his 10 thirsty camels, he will know she is the one chosen for Isaac. Just then, a beautiful young woman named Rebecca comes to the well. The servant runs to meet her and asks for a little water. "Drink, my lord," she says graciously. But she doesn't stop there. After he finishes drinking, she says, "I will draw water for your camels too, until they have had enough." The servant is stunned. This is the exact sign he prayed for. Watering 10 camels after a long journey is a huge task, a true act of generosity and kindness. He gives her beautiful gold jewelry and asks about her family. It turns out she is the granddaughter of Abraham's own brother. It's a perfect match, orchestrated by a divine hand. Rebecca's family agrees to the marriage, and she courageously decides to leave her home and journey to a new land to marry a man she has never met. Meanwhile, Isaac is out in the field, meditating. He looks up and sees the camels approaching. At the same time, Rebecca sees a man in the distance and asks the servant who he is. "That is my master," he replies. She modestly covers her face with her veil. The servant tells Isaac everything that happened, how his prayer was answered so perfectly. Isaac brings Rebecca into his mother Sarah's tent, and in that moment, he finds comfort after his mother's death. He loves her, and they begin their life together. Their meeting wasn't just a chance encounter, it was a beautifully arranged love story, showing that when we trust in a greater plan, the right people find their way into our lives at the perfect time. Isaac and Rebecca's love story continues, but like many families, theirs is not without its own share of drama and conflict. For a long time, they too are unable to have children, just like Abraham and Sarah. Isaac prays earnestly, and his prayer is answered. Rebekah becomes pregnant with twins. Even before they are born, the two boys struggle within her, a sign of the conflict to come. The firstborn is Esau, a rugged, hairy boy who grows up to be a skilled hunter, an outdoorsman who loves the open country. He is his father's favorite. The second is Jacob, born grasping Esau's heel. He is a quiet, thoughtful man who prefers to stay close to the tents, and he is his mother's favorite. This parental favoritism sets the stage for a major family crisis. One day, a hungry Esau comes in from hunting and sells his birthright, the special honor and inheritance of the firstborn son, to Jacob for a simple bowl of stew. It's a rash decision he would later regret deeply. Years later, Isaac is old, and his eyesight has failed him. Believing his time is short, he calls for Esau. He asks his favorite son to go out, hunt some game, and prepare his favorite meal so he can give him his official patriarchal blessing before he dies. Rebekah overhears this. Her love for Jacob, and perhaps her belief that he is the more suitable heir, leads her to devise a plan. She quickly cooks a savory meal and helps Jacob disguise himself as his hairy brother Esau by covering his arms and neck with goatskins. Jacob, though hesitant, goes along with the deception. He brings the food to his blind father. Isaac is suspicious. The voice sounds like Jacob's, but the hands feel like Esau's. Tricked by the disguise and the familiar taste of the food, Isaac gives Jacob the blessing intended for the firstborn, a powerful, irrevocable blessing of prosperity and leadership. Just as Jacob leaves, Esau returns with the meal he prepared. When he discovers what has happened, that his brother has stolen his blessing, he lets out a bitter cry. His heart is filled with rage and a vow for revenge. The deception shatters the family. To save his life, Jacob is forced to flee his home, leaving behind a furious brother and a family torn apart by favoritism and deceit. And so, the story of Isaac's family is a complex tapestry of love, faith, deception, and conflict, showing that even the greatest families have their struggles. The consequences of these actions would ripple through generations, leading to the formation of two great nations. What a journey! From a miraculous birth to a life-altering test of faith, a divinely guided love story, and a family torn by deception. Isaac's life is a powerful reminder that our stories are often filled with incredible highs and challenging lows. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating figures. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next video. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.